Hello and welcome to my world in a casual review. This week we're talking about The Expanse, a Telltale series. Let's get the positive out of the way first, shall we? It's a very pretty game. Visually, I have no complaints. All the characters look fantastic. The environments are stunning. You can actually get lost in just admiring like all the little details. It's like there was a true effort put into how this game looks. Controls are the most responsive for any game published by Telltale Games, which is a long list, and we all know, and any of us who've played Minecraft Story Mode, Batman the Telltale series, the original Tales from the Borderlands, the Walking Dead series. Hell, let's go back even further. Let's go back to Bone and Hector Badger Carnage, all right? The controls are really good. They're really perfect for what would be like an action adventure space opera. Audio, there is some audio. There is some real noticeable audio balancing mix issues with this game if you're not listening on with headphones or with a surround sound system. The audio on this game is all over the place. Sometimes the dialogue is going to be real low on default settings, mind you. It's either going to be real low or it's going to be real loud. There's like no in between, so I encourage playing it with subtitles on. Again, if you don't have a surround sound or if you're not playing listening to earbuds or have headphones connected. So there, right? But still, by and large, the voice acting is solid, the musical score is good, the sound effects are they have weight to them, so it's just like okay. Uh, Now here's the problem. This game was released episodically. All right, 5 chapters. The initial download for chapter 1 was about 3.9 gigs, give or take. Episode 2 was 1.1 gigabytes. Episodes 3 and episode 4 were 1 gigabyte each. Episode 5 wasn't even a gig. It was like 914 megabytes. All right. Altogether, on my Xbox Series console, not even 10 gigs. All right. So it's a very tiny game. It's a very small game. All right. Now, a single playthrough. All right. Episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start to finish. And let's be generous if you're being thorough and trying to find everything, all the scavengeable items, and all the data entry logs. Right? Let's say you're going through. You want to go through like for as complete a playthrough as possible in that regard, or still giving yourself some variance for justifying another playthrough, like experimenting with some choices. Your playthrough, your single playthrough, your first playthrough, at most 5.5, maybe 6 hours. The only chapter of this game that actually took me more than 45 minutes to complete was episode 2. The one, right? So it's like, okay, it's very short, it's very tiny. And I want to stress that it's like 5.5 to 6 hours there. As someone who's can and has taken their time and wanting to explore everything and check out every nook and cranny, say like the Telltale's Game of Thrones game that came out several years ago, which is actually quite good, by the way. If you're able to get a physical copy of it to play it, I encourage that you do. That game, which was released quite a few years ago, I would dare say it takes about 5.5 to 6 hours. Mostly because it's a lot more linear, it's a lot more compact, and you're not really exploring that much. But the dialogue trees are fantastic. Like being able, listening to every dialogue, talking to everyone that you're able to talk to, and let everything play out. So, okay, similar length there, right? Here's the problem, though. Your character interactions here in conversing with the other characters. You're playing as Drummond, but when you're talking to Virgil, the twins, Maya, Khan, Cox, if you happen to keep them alive on your first playthrough, you don't really get much opportunity to speak with them at all. Like you get like a little bit in episode 1, a fair amount in episode 2, a little bit in episode 3, nothing in episode 4 for the most part, because you're basically on your own, and nothing really in episode 5. So you're not really getting a chance to get to know these characters, your supporting cast. That's a huge difference. Where someone's like, okay, let's compare it to the Walking Dead games. Walking Dead season 1, you got Lee, you got Clementine, you got Kenny, you got Catra, you got Duck, you have the reporter, you have what's the college student's name whose name is escapes me. You got Amid and his wife. All right, you got so many memorable characters, and you get to know these characters. You're not really given much opportunity to even give a damn about the characters in the Expanse. Matter of fact, unless you're going out of the way when you actually get an opportunity to explore the Artemis, it's totally easy to miss speaking to people. Which is a shame, really, because the voice acting, as I mentioned before, is top notch. Then you have the other big problem. Again, with this game being released episodically, it's going to draw a big comparison to other games similar to it that I've played this year. Star Trek Resurgence, which was developed by former Telltale staff. All right, that game may be clunky as hell, but my first playthrough of that took 10 hours. Oh, yeah, it was like 10 or 11 hours, that stream, start to finish. Right? So, and that was episodic. Sure, you didn't really know where the chapter breaks were, but you know what? You had plenty explored there. You had dialogues. You had everything you could ask for from a game like this. The new Telltale games with the Expanse is like, again, single playthrough, 5.5, 6 hours. Star Trek Resurgence, talk about 10 to 12 hours, depending on how thorough you're being. And it's like if you're taking time in puzzles. Matter of fact, that game had puzzles. This one didn't. Actually, I take that back. This one barely had any puzzles, and most of them, and they were in episode 4. And then, and again, it's just wow. And I'm also going to compare it to New Tales from the Borderlands. All right, sure, that was developed by 2K, but guess what? That was episodic, and that in and of itself was pushing like what? That took me 2 streams to do. So that was about 8 to 10 hours on that one, on a single playthrough, and you're justified to go back to try and get different results. Which also brings us to to another problem with the Expanse. The achievement list, where you're definitely encouraged not to really experiment or screw around with choices. If you're going for completion, you are meant to do certain things on your single playthrough, or at least over the course of your 2 playthroughs, depending on your choices and whatnot, but you're expected to do everything perfectly. Like, okay, you want to make sure Virgil is in a great state. You got to keep Cox alive. You want to make sure you're doing everything to make sure Khan is, stays alive as well. It's like that Maya stays alive. Okay, so you're basically encouraged to keep all these characters alive. You're not meant to lose anyone at all, which just is amazing when you think about it. It's like, wait a second, like where's the freedom of choice? All right, so you're giving me a list of objectives, which is limiting what I can do. There's a big difference there being achievements for finding items and collectibles and stuff, but giving like achievements to ensure that you get the quote unquote canon story without any creative decisions, which are very limited in this game in comparison to prior Telltale games, and certainly when compared to Star Trek Resurgence and New Tales from the Borderlands. It's like your choices are more often than not binary. Either basically yes, no, punch someone or not punch someone. That's about it. And if you're lucky, if you're lucky, you'll have like choices that can determine a conversation that are more than just two choices. I saw a couple in episode 5 that actually, you have your choices there that could throw some variance on it. Now, here comes my determination. Would I play this game again? I will play it again just to get the remaining achievements that I missed on the first time through. But beyond that, compared to other Telltale games, compared to Star Trek Resurgence, compared to New Tales from the Borderlands, compared to the Life is Strange games, I really am not interested in wanting to revisit this game anytime soon. Beyond just going for achievement cleanup. I mean, this game is as I said, it's a glorified tech demo. And I'm not sure who's to blame for it. Is it Telltale Games or is it Deck 9 Games? Because when you think of the legacy, granted, Telltale Games now is not the same company or does not have all the same people it once did. Because if it did, with the visual results here, with how this game looks, this game could have been so much better. It really could have been. Now, maybe if it did well, sold well, there will be a sequel and they can do more with it, with this engine and everything. Maybe. But as it stands right now, at the time I'm recording this, September 22nd, 2023, this is the worst game I've played all year. Of the 37 games that I finished up through September 21st, 2023, this is the worst game I've played all year. And that's a list that includes Duke Nukem Forever. All right, so that's certainly saying a lot there. Anyway, if you're interested in playing the Expanse, here's my recommendation. Do not pay full price for it. If you see it on sale for like $10, all 5 episodes for $10, that's what it's worth. It's certainly ain't worth more than that. Anyway, those are my thoughts, my opinions. Tighten your friendship rates to stay safe. If you like the Expanse, put those and what Telltale and Deck 9 did with this. Put it in the comment section below. Comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Like, dislike, it's all interactions. Punch, kick is all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'll do you fine. I think I got that reference right. Anyway, we'll see y'all in the next video.